welcome to, or welcome back to Total Spot Fest. I am JJ. That is Jamie. We are ready to talk about a whole lot of great things going on and some interesting developments, let's say, in the wrestling world. Boy, our plan for this week's episode took a drastic turn yesterday.
You bet your sweet ass it did.
So,
like, whew.
Hard, like a Blues Brothers getting on from upper whacker to lower whacker turn, So, I shouldn't have said Blues Brothers. I fucked it up, Jamie. I'm sorry. I don't do the movie references like you. I apologize.
It's okay.
Well,
it's okay.
Thank you guys for watching, though. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate you giving us some of your time here. I believe all of our technical issues that might have been arose have been sorted out. There was one platform I know, audio-wise, where there was a hang-up, but that's been resolved, so we should be on all the same audio platforms we were before. So if you're listening to us on that platform and you're like, why did you guys have a show last week? Apologies. It should be there. We should be back, though. We do appreciate you guys giving us your time, whether you're watching us or listening. If you are watching, drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think of everything. Give us a subscribe and a like while you're down there. It helps us out quite a bit, especially a like. Easy. Just click a little thumbs up button. Real simple. Real easy. It helps us out dramatically. If you want to join the conversation, you can hit us up on Twitter or Hive Social at Total Spot. Is Hive Social still a thing, or is that a flash in the pan? Like, everybody was on it for a day.
I think it's a flash in the pan because I have not logged on in
I haven't logged on either. I haven't seen any. Everybody's like, all right, well, Twitter's not dying. We'll stay here.
Yeah. It's like, we're all threatening to leave. We really don't want to leave. That's kind of what happened.
This is too easy. But at Total Spot Fest, either way. So, Jamie, how have you been, man? I know you and me both are getting off of work for some time here for the holidays, and I know you are more than I ready for it.
Yeah. It's been a fun few weeks or months with work, so I'm really looking forward to recharging the old batteries, watching some wrestling, maybe playing some wrestling games. I don't know. I'm really into rekindling some old RPGs, watching some football, watching my Kansas City Chiefs hopefully lock up the number 1 seed in the AFC like they deserve.
Well, they do need a little bit of help, but I mean, Buffalo has a hard schedule.
Our road's easier.
Your road is so much easier. Like I'm not gonna lie. If you guys lose a game, you don't deserve number 1 seed. I don't care who it's against.
Agreed.
You guys, yeah. If you lose any of your next remaining games, you don't deserve that number 1 seed. I'm hoping the Steelers can lock up that top 10 pick. It's such a morbid thing to say.
Offensive lineman from Stanford.
Oh, or the kid from, I don't know if we'll get high enough to get the kid from Northwestern. I looked into him. But we might have a shot at that kid from Ohio State. He's like the number 7 overall rated thing on Mel Kiper's big board. Mm-hmm. He's a big son of a bitch, too. And we're not going to get in the top 3. So we're not getting the dude from Georgia that I was wanting. So pass on that. We'll get a second. We'll get a second round D lineman. But anywho.
We're not here to talk wrestling.
No, let's not dilly-dally because, as I said, wrestling Twitter, we went to Twitter yesterday along with everything with some somewhat shocking news. So first and foremost, over the weekend, NXT had one of their shows. They're not a pay-per-view. They're not calling it a pay-per-view, but it was like Vengeance Day or is one of those type of things, right? And that they had Iron Survivor matches. What's an Iron Survivor match? It's basically a King or Queen of the Mountain match with a couple different stipulations, but basically that's what it was. And for the women, Roxanne Perez, formerly known as Roxy, she began the year in Ring of Honor as the women's champion, and now she won the Iron Survivor match, so she gets a title shot against Mandy Rose, the longest reigning NXT women's champion. Well, that match was this past Tuesday. Wow, that was fast. And shockingly enough, she won that match. And I watched the finish, and I was
crazy that she won it.
Yeah, she won on a Code Red, and it was like,
a not very good Code Red. I know
I've
it's
seen her
Pop
do better.
Rocks is what it's called. Pop Rocks, and the thing is, like, if I have to compare Code Reds, like Sky Blues is significantly better than hers.
Alexa Bliss's is significantly better than hers.
Yeah, and it's
she
not
was
even
an
their
okay
finisher.
one. Yeah.
It's her finisher.
That being said, she did win it. I thought that was a little shocking. And boy, was I wrong about shocking. Because, Jamie, what happened yesterday?
So, right after that match, Mandy goes in the back and she is informed that she is being released. She did not ask for the release, anything. It came as a complete surprise, totally blindsided her. And would you like to know what the reason is, JJ?
Oh, yes, we would. If you haven't heard this, just welcome to the internet. But yes,
so
please.
she has a brand army or whatever.
Fansly is the
Fansly. It's
like
not
OnlyFans.
as it's like OnlyFans, but not as OnlyFansy, I guess is the best way to put it. She posts some pictures of herself, like in bikinis, thongs, whatever, holds her boobs, stuff like that. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, I mean, but she had one nip slip, I guess, is the whole thing.
She had a couple nip slips, and I'll talk more about that, the content-wise, in a second, but yes.
Yeah, but they said that is not the direction that WWE wants to go, and that she put him in a corner, and they've decided to let her go. Didn't even really talk to her about it. Like, she could have took the shit down.
And I just want to, before we really dive into this here, I just want to circle back to that point, the word you just said, or the statement you just made there, which they made, that WWE said that Mandy Rose, a person who they, from Tough Enough, took and made into the sex symbol of sex symbols, right? She was fired for being too sexy, basically. What the fuck is the internet?
I mean, Right Said Fred is rolling over in his assumed grave, if he's got a grave. I don't even know if Right Said Fred's dead. If anybody doesn't know who Right Said Fred is, he has one song. It's Too Sexy for My Shirt. Yeah, that stupid song. But anyway.
I thought you'd go last more set, but that is the layup, reference. So touche there.
Yeah. But I would like to say that this is the most WWE thing I have heard in a hot minute, because she's too sexy. Like, she's being too sexy. This is also coming from the same company that not only didn't have one girl pose for Playboy. No, they didn't have one. They didn't have two. They didn't have three. They didn't have four. They had 5 different wrestlers pose for Playboy, which was full spread, full everything.
Spread is correct, yes.
And she posts a couple nip slips, and it's too risque. I understand times have changed. I get it. I get the argument that you'll want to give me on this.
Well, and let me just, for a second, I'm definitely not going to play devil's advocate, because I 1000% agree with Jamie on this to the T. But for context, because I was like, what the fuck did she do? Because I know, okay, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm single. I have no kids. I'm familiar with parts of the internet, right? I get it, okay? So there are those who are very, kind of seductive, but not, raunchy with their OnlyFans or their paid content, if you would, okay? There are those that don't show anything. There are those that show stuff, but that's pretty much it. Just a little peep, that's it. And there are those that it's basically paper whatever porn, right? So you have the levels, right? So I was immediately like, okay, what exactly was she doing, like full on, stuff? And from what I read, I found some Reddit threads with some people that actually were talking about this and how much bullshit it was, obviously, right? And there was a couple people in there like, I sign up for it. This is what we see. And for the most part, you're right. It's cover your stuff, this and that, little nip slip here and there every once in a while, right? She puts on underwear and you can, she wears thongs so you can see like the outlines of her butthole. Okay. All right. Whatever. Right. She has some sheer stuff where you can see, a little whatever, nothing major though. She does do live chats though. Most of these content sites do have a go live thing, much like you would do from a public site like Twitch or Chatterbait or My Free Cams, stuff like that. But it's only for paying members, right? She does do that, and they have said that on that does get the content wise does get a little raunchy a little bit. That's talking about, but raunchy a little bit, right? Considering her Sunday stream is called Slutty Sunday. Okay. She does, for tips, sell whatever undergarment she's wearing on the stream to people. Okay, there's that. But apparently what it was, and I have no way to validate this, is just people on the internet screaming inside of Reddit, right? This could be false, but apparently there was a picture of her and her fiance in the shower that could potentially be more than just posing. Let's put it that way. One of those things. I don't know, but
so
anyway, just to put context, I'm just throwing that out there that there was some very, very adult stuff there, even though it wasn't like porn. Okay.
Yeah. Good for her.
Why not?
Like, dude, people are making millions of dollars off of selling pictures of their feet, for crying out loud.
Absolutely.
Like, this is what I think the problem is. WWE made her into a sex symbol. So she became this larger than life sex symbol, Marilyn Monroe-esque, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
They owned her. They own Mandy Rose. So she wanted to go ahead and go out and continue doing the sexy thing on her own and make some extra change for herself. As soon as she starts making extra change, oh shit! What? I'm not getting a cut of you showing people your ass on online.
100%.
That's not cool. Fucking, you're gone. And then now she can't use the name, whatever, which is easy. I think it's Mandy Sachs anyway.
Yeah.
So it's her real name and not Mandy Rose. So she's completely protected by it. But I think the whole thing was, in this new generation where women are more open sexually about things, than ever before. There's tons of sites for dudes to subscribe to see whatever, to your point. Like, she's trying to cash in on what WWE made her and actually make a profit off of it instead of just WWE making all the profit off of her sexuality.
Yeah. And for those that are going to come back and say, yes, she was on a main roster contract still. So she got she got paid well, right? Even though she's technically an independent contractor, because WWE's like, fuck you to labor laws. She got fired, not for being sexy or doing the sexy, but doing the sexy where WWE could make the money off the sexy. And somebody's trying to say that, because of the content, that is a potential legal trouble for their Mattel deal. I'm like, bullshit. Bullshit. Because Matt Riddle is still employed with the company. Because the Usos are still employed with the company. Should I keep going? I can keep going, but I'm not. The double standard is thick. This wasn't a morality firing. This was a money firing.
Yeah. If they went morality, like, half their roster would be fucking gone.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when Zelina Vega was, congratulations on future endeavors, because she wouldn't turn off her Twitch stream. Because there's Vince's whole edict at the pandemic. These people are making money outside of us? Well, we own that. And everybody had to turn off their Twitches, right? Same thing, just with sex.
I mean, more power to Mandy. She's beautiful.
Absolutely.
She knows she's beautiful. And you know what? Like anybody who does that online, like we have friends who do that, like that we know.
Yep.
More power to you, man. I don't care how you make your money.
Who gives a shit?
I who cares? Like you play a character on TV. Cool. You can do whatever you want behind the scenes and like even show people more of you, you know? Like it's not
Right.
even that big of a deal. And the thing is, most of the time she's not really even showing more of what people have
No.
already seen. Realistically.
She's shown a little more than Tony Storm does, but Tony Storm also, she makes bank off of her OnlyFans too,
She made $1 million when she first opened it.
It's
Like, come on.
I mean, work the goddamn system, and she'll be
That's
fine.
all
with
she's
it.
doing.
And she'll be fine. Like I said, she's established herself as she doesn't have to do anything but work out and take sexy photos if she doesn't want to, right?
Yeah, she never has to wrestle again, and I doubt she'll wrestle again because
I think she'll go model. She'll go like TV
fitness modeling, 100% TV.
She'll do modeling for sure, but she can do like TV appearances and stuff because WWE gives you the chops to be an actor, basically. So she can go some TV roles here and there, cameos, this and that. Cool, right? Continue to do the sexy. Why not?
Yeah, you do you, boo. Like,
I mean, there are cam girls that make like $3-4 million a year,
which is insane.
And not
but
even.
They probably do a little bit more.
They do a little bit more, but I'm not talking like fully X-rated stuff either. Like, well, those girls do too, but there's some of them that literally just get on there and kind of get naked and dance around. $1 million.
Yeah, and she's got a built-in fan base, and if anything, this firing is probably made her get a lot more subscriptions.
I did read.
There's these.
I read that the price went from $15 to $40 a month. Surprise! Out of nowhere.
Good for her. Good for her.
That's marketing 101. Like my business teachers back in college would be so proud of her. Like that's
capitalism, baby. Capitalism. Supply and demand. Dude, no, I'm happy for her on that aspect. I think it's a bullshit excuse.
It is.
And it paints WWE in a terrible light, as it fucking should. Like, it's ridiculous.
And give us your thoughts down below. Give us a tweet. Give us a comment. Let us know what you guys think too. But it's interesting, and I want to segue into that because you talk about that painting WWE in a terrible light. It's a very interesting time when we think about this. So I read a headline. It was from Wrestle Talk, so I don't know what, but I read the headline that and I don't know the sources. I didn't read into it, but it just, along with a couple other things I was going to talk about here, that Triple H is very upset at a lot of the returnees, the people he brought back as NXT Old Guard, for underperforming. Mm-hmm. And when you think about it, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Was it, yay, and then who cares, right? Tegan Knox got no reception, right? Mia Yim's, her only claim to fame anymore is getting unnecessary heat for posing with a friend of hers when she's married to another man. Ooh.
It wasn't even sexual. She hopped up on him and flexed.
It's whatever, but Gargano hasn't really made the main picture yet, and that might be, I wouldn't blame Gargano for that, but but there is that thought that's going on, and I'm like, well, just like Tony Khan, similar problem. When all these things were happening, he was just like buy off the open market. You can't just go bring back, and it's not how it works, And I know we haven't been. It's been a long time since we used to do like weekly numbers and shit. But did you by chance see Alvarez or see any note about Raw this past week?
No.
All right,
I didn't get to watch it.
Okay, well, you weren't alone. So 1.42. Oof indeed. It's their lowest since the middle of last year, middle of 21, when they hit those all-time lows.
You also saw the other rumor that Vince McMahon's trying to weasel his way back into the company.
Yeah, I read about that a little bit. He thinks that it was premature to let him go, that the scandals and allegations would blow over. This is a man who there's visible, tangible proof of misconduct and payoffs. And he's like, oh, that shit would have blown over. No big deal.
Yet the company's gonna fire Mandy Rose for posing risque pictures
For showing a little butt and some nipples. Woo!
When he has been a predator since the 80s.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It really is.
Dude, if he does come back, I swear on my mother's grave, I swear on everything, I will never ever watch WWE again. And if Royal Rumble, WrestleMania is close, it's on my bucket list of things to do, I will never go. Ever. Like if he comes back, I'm done. Like I'm trying to give it a go right now with Triple H. It's gotten better. But man, if he comes back, I'm done. I'm so done.
I have you know, I don't have the biggest appetite. Although I will say this about WWE, and you made mention of it, that there are some good things. You see Kylie Ray debuted. Like she's
yes, Brianna Ray.
Brianna Ray. Happy for her. She also had 14 months of sobriety. Big cheers to Kylie Ray for that. And did you see? We have never talked about her, but Sol Rika. You know, have you been following her at all?
Yeah, is it Sol Rika or Sol Rika?
It's Sol Ruka. R-U. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sol Ruka.
Yeah. She's got kind of like that Rhea Ripley vibe to her when you really look at her without all the tattoos. Yeah. But you look at her, it's like, holy shit. Now that I actually look at her, she is jacked, but doesn't come out. Mm-hmm. But that finisher, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who haven't seen it, go Google it, look it up on Twitter. She does basically a back spring from the middle turnbuckle into a stunner. I'm like, physics, how?
Yeah, it's insane. I like it. It's like the Eclipse, but inverted.
Yeah. Very, very weird. Very odd. But it's really good. So there are things that are working there. But, you know, honestly, I'm not far behind. I basically have given up on it again. Because I was giving it a shot for the Triple H stuff. And I'll catch a little bit every once in a while. But it's basically the same product again. And to Triple H's frustration, you know, all his returnings turned out to like not materialize for shit. So, okay, whatever.
Yeah, what happened to Karrion Kross?
I don't know. He's not.
I mean, Bray's doing well. Bray's done great.
Bray is a different breed all of himself. And he never should have let go as a completely separate thing that I'm thinking of. But you know, and Damage Control, EO and Dakota are doing very well, right? You know, they're getting prominently featured. On Raw last week, you actually had, and it sucks. I saw a couple clips and the crowd was dead. You actually had EO and Candice LeRae on free TV. We had to pay for that shit on the fucking takeovers, but
yeah, that's true.
So.
Very, very true.
A couple of little side things, and we're going to get into our regular schedule stuff here. But 2 updates I got for you. Okay, first one is on Thunder Rosa. So Dave Meltzer posted this yesterday. I don't know if you read this or not, but an update on her timeline. Says, this is from Dave Meltzer, so take it whatever grain of salt you want with that. But what he's hearing is that she won't be headed back into the ring before February, which would rule her out for the mystery opponent with Saraya at the 111 Dynamite in LA. Last word on her return was February, is what he said. And she did say on the podcast, because she's on Wrestling Perspectives podcast, part of the Busted Open network of stuff, right? You know, she did talk about her recovery. And me specifically, was giving a little bit of, I don't know if I buy this injury sort of vibe, but apparently it's a lot more serious than I thought. you know. So she was saying that she's still not able to run, but she's able to kind of get out and do some other things. So apparently it's going well. Her work is legit. You know, her back's screwed up, but February is what Meltzer said. So does that solidify the first thought of Sasha or Mercedes or potentially Kairi Sane? I mean, I like that Kairi Sane thing you threw out there.
I'm leaning more towards Kairi Sane at this point. But I guess the money that New Japan threw at Mercedes to show up is the most they've ever shelled out for anybody.
Oh, wow.
Like,
she's not even Jericho. She's not confirmed to do anything but just be there.
Yeah, well, Jericho, when he was wrestling out there, he was getting $100,000 a pop just to wrestle.
Right.
Like,
so
she's north of
figures to show up. Is what it sounds
like. That's insane.
Wow.
Insane. So I don't know. I think her price tag might be a little bit too high. Maybe they can get Kairi Sane to set up Forbidden Door Dos. I mean, you know, so
on paper though, Mercedes Sasha looks. It was her first match in WWE was against Paige in NXT, right?
Mm-hmm.
On paper, it makes a lot of sense. So we'll see what happens. The other update I wanted to give you was about Hijo del Vikingo. Okay, so we talked about him. We've swooned for him, asked for him to come to us in in AEW, and one day we'll probably see that. But coming up here soon, he's doing an indie run. It's going to be his first U.S. debut, right? It's going to be Defy Wrestling and GCW. And GCW on Twitter clarified some things with that. So, first of all, his first match in America is against Blake Christian at GCW in Tempe, Arizona.
Okay.
Do you want to see that?
Yeah.
You can't see that on GCW's pay-per-view or feed or anything thereof. AAA still has the exclusive rights to Hijo del Vikingo's appearances, including those that are not in AAA, apparently. So, I don't know how we're going to get to see that if you're not there live. I'm sure it'll be sold somehow through AAA, but it will not. And Lardell came out and had to say that it's not going to be a part of the pay-per-view that they will be putting out there due to AAA contractual obligations.
And they probably can't work anything out. Yeah.
Well, AAA has, like, the fact that he's doing it is a big step, but AAA doesn't. He is their golden. He is their John Cena. He is their golden boy, deservedly so. They don't want to lose any potential on that. They would like to lock him up an exclusivity deal, even though that doesn't make a lot of sense for him if you think about it. An interesting note that I saw.
That is very interesting because, like, they have so many AEW people that wrestle there.
They've let other guys go before. Not Bandito.
Hell, FTR are the current champs.
Laredo Kid. That's what I was thinking. Laredo Kid.
Yeah.
How many Impact shows did he do? Fuck.
Yeah.
Like Taurus was a part of Decay, for God's sake.
Valid.
Brian Cage goes back and forth. Fucking Kenny Omega, you know? I mean, anyway. We just have to temper our Hijo del Viking. You have to go back to God of War if you want your Viking fix here in America, okay? That's what. Just replay through it again. Go, give me God of War mode, platinum. Go for it.
Worth it. New Game Plus, they said that is projecting to be around April. Can't wait.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Forever.
Oh well.
Sorry.
Gaming aside, we like to focus on other things besides the big stuff. We like to kind of turn that spotlight around, look at some independent wrestling. So every week we like to, spotlight somebody who maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't heard of them. Either way, Jamie, you should have somebody prepared, I'm correct, for this week's Independent Wrestler Spotlight.
I do. I really do.
I asked that question, and I'm sorry.
It's fine. I still it worked. Still worked.
Still set you.
So I believe I may have done this person in the past. If I have, I apologize. But I felt like it's very important for me to do it this week. Just because this person has been going through a lot medically over the past year in 2022. And before he's gone, I definitely wanted to give him his flowers. And that's Jaysin Striffe. Jaysin Striffe is the owner operator of Magnum Wrestling up in Omaha, Nebraska. He is a Midwest legend. He has wrestled everywhere. He's wrestled everybody. He's wrestled Mike Bennett. He's wrestled the who's who of everybody that's out there, and he's beat cancer once before, but this time around is definitely kicking his ass a little bit harder than he's expected. He's actually in hospice care right now. And my heartfelt, you need to follow this guy, see some of his matches, because he was truly, and is for right now, he's truly a blessing on professional wrestling, especially here in the Midwest.
He is, a Midwestern staple. And the news got out about that. It hurts, It definitely hurts, because he beat it, and he went through a tough battle the first time around and beat it. And I remember we talked about him because he was here for All Good Things Flow in the City, right? And he got on the mic, and even with his hoarse voice, gave a passionate speech. And it was so uplifting just to hear the turn, it's heartbreaking. He is a fighter, though. And through, he is a fighter. So please go give your love to Jaysin. Absolutely, please you could do. Whether we've done him or not before doesn't matter. So fantastic spotlight. And if nothing else, go check out some of his matches. Go watch some of his stuff. You can find him on Fight TV. You can find some stuff he's been in. He's been around. He's been in some great shows. So fantastic choice this week, Jamie.
Yeah, he's an excellent person. We've had a chance to actually talk to him. Seen him multiple times at Journey Pro. Got to see him at Wrestling Revolver as well that one time.
Yes, we did.
Our very first time we were there. But he's on Twitter. He's not much of a Twitter guy, to be honest with you. Jaysin Striffe, Jaysin Striffe. The link will be down below, obviously. But
of course.
Yeah. Just if anything, just remember, man, life isn't that long, so take advantage of what you have. And if anything, this guy is proof, man. He's lived a hell of a life in such a short time. So hats off to Jaysin.
Much love. So be on the lookout for that. Like I said, links for everything will be down below. I don't know if at the time of this recording, I don't know if there's any sort of GoFundMe or any of that stuff. But if there is anything, I will definitely put it down there. But if nothing else, give the man a follow, and give him a view.
Hells yeah.
Let's change the mood.
Let's do it.
So let's go to happier things, because last week we started this. You had the idea to do our end of the year stuff instead of doing it on one big show, which is kind of a pain in the butt, right? And for us to do, for you to listen, the whole 9 yards, we're going to break it up. So we did matches of the week last week. If you haven't heard, go back, watch last week's show, check out our matches of the year. So this week we're going to do tag teams of the year. Now, I went first last week. So, Jamie, we're going to turn over to you. Give us your tag team of the year, or tag teams if you have more than one. Well, we'll talk about some, but what's your tag team of the year?
My tag team of the year, we've seen live. We've seen them live twice. And this tag team, their name cannot be said in the state of Missouri before
on Sundays,
7 p.m. on Sundays. This is none other than Effie and Allie Catch and the team of Bussy. Bussy had an amazing run of 2022.
Such a good run.
Became GCW champions in 2022. They faced the who's who everywhere. We got to see them in Kansas City. We got to see them in St. Louis. We've seen them multiple times now. They are a pleasure. They're great people, by the way. They're right there, right above my head. You might not be able to see it. It might be cropped out. But,
Their heads are cropped out, but the rest is visible.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for Bussy, I mean, with Vinny Pacifico wouldn't understand his love of guys' nuts.
Yeah.
Just Bussy, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to see how many times I can say Bussy.
The fact that Bussy is a thing that is now out there in the world is fan-fucking-tastic.
Thank you, Effie. Thank you, Effie.
Effie is fantastic, and I love the fact that we've waxed poetically in the past about GCW. We talked about GCW on this show, right? Super Indie, whatever you want to call it, right? They were their tag team champions for a large chunk, I want to say a majority of the year this year. I don't know the exact timeline for because they do shows every fucking week, so it's like but a large chunk of it they were the tag team champions. A man and a woman, an intergender tag team was the tag team champions for GCW, one of the largest independent promotions there is, right? And I know Effie's a big supporter, big proponent of non-gender in wrestling. Right, his big thing is intergender isn't a thing. One person versus another person, see what happens. Right, so he's always talking about that. If you watch his Monday Not Raw show or any of his other stuff that he does, his podcast Weekend at Effie's, which is well worth a follow. I'm out here promoting other podcasts, but no, it's fantastic. Yeah, and they were the tag team champions, unquestioned. Nobody even gave a second thought to that, right? Imagine in WWE or Impact or AEW if you don't even get intergender for shit in AEW, right? Let alone have them be like the champions. So I'm jealous of you taking that pick, man.
Well, I figured you were gonna take one of the other ones.
I was gonna take the low hanging. I'm taking low hanging fruit. I absolutely
am. Yeah. Go for it.
I mean, especially after my match of the year fit. What we're going to talk about here in just a minute fits into this as well. And I think that on paper, you can't argue the fact that FTR owned 2022. I mean, 3 titles simultaneously. Could have had a 4th. But AEW had other plans, and rightfully so. But this is a team that very rarely in wrestling does this happen, where there is an actor or an individual or a team, whatever, that is above the silos of heel, face, tweener, all that, right? They just are them, right? The Rock is one of those. He's just him. Stone Cold. He was just him, right? NWO created that basically, right? Just them. Who cares, right? And FTR is that. Are they face or heel? I don't know, because they kind of do a little bit of both every time. Right?
Yeah, they're them.
But they're well worth it. Dax and Cash from, Dax has said 21 was like the lowest year that they've had. Cash almost freaking died in a freak, bump, right? Slicing open his arm on a turnbuckle. And
right.
All the other stuff that went with it. And their 22 was special. Their matches against the Briscoes were, I've already waxed poetically about that. Go listen to last week's episode. But everything else they've done, they had one-on-one matches like Dax versus Bryan Danielson. That got your whistle so wet. I mean,
that match was amazing.
FTR,
so amazing. Yeah, FTR is they are unequivocally the greatest tag team in the world. And no one can hold a candle to them. It's just one of those things. They are the Patrick Mahomes of tag team wrestling, ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen. You know I'm right though.
are you sure they're not the Tom Brady or the Peyton Manning or Tom? we're
They're
not
not
going all
that
the time.
old.
We're not going all the time.
We're going like
Right.
the now, you know,
I would
and
say they are the Alex Ovechkin of tag team wrestling. Yes, they are the best playing at this time. Um, I would say that there long has been the argument before they happen, and we've only got to see it in a few occasions. But the Young Bucks versus FTR is still a bunch of people's dream match. Lucha Brothers haven't subsided either. So the fact that the Acclaimed is so much the forefront focus of AEW is amazing. To speak to the Acclaimed, that's one that I would say could definitely come into this conversation. But FTR is the better tag team.
yeah, like I wanted to give the Acclaimed because of their meteoric rise of 2022, and the thing is, like, that is something to give them flowers on because FTR has been this good for a while, but
Right.
then like they've been really good for a long time. But 2022, they've dominated 2022.
Oh yeah.
Acclaimed has dominated in the past like 4 months, 5 months.
Right.
In all reality. So like it's not the who's hot right now, it's who's hot for the entire year. So I totally agree with your FTR argument there because a lot of people like to say, "Oh, this guy had a better game or this guy had a better match. He's the guy. He's the guy." But for the entire year, this guy's been putting
Overall.
on
Right.
bangers all year, and that's FTR. FTR steps in the ring, they're having a banger. Like that's it.
Yeah.
There's no debate. You know it's going to be an amazing match.
Doesn't matter who that guy on the other side is. You know it's going to be good. Right.
Yeah, just like Bussy.
Just like FTR Bussy. Give us FTR Bussy.
Oh yes,
Um,
FTR Bussy.
I will give one other shout out, and I want to see if you have any other shout outs you want to give there. Their opponent for a lot of these matches this year that I've waxed poorly about, the
The
Briscoes.
Briscoes. They've only wrestled like 5 times this year, though.
It's tough because they've wrestled more, but from
Yeah,
they got blackballed on WB Discovery for some reason. I don't even know. I don't even remember the specifics about why Warner Brothers Discovery put the big kibosh on the Briscoes. But
but
they
that
did.
must not be a thing because they're Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, which I know you're getting ready to talk about. Spoiler.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, they are. Yeah, and there's a Ring of. I honestly have no idea. I can't figure that out. Well, the thing too with the Briscoes too, we forget they've been around for a while, a lot longer than these other tag teams.
mhm.
They spoiler alert. Yeah, they did win the titles on Saturday, and it was their 13th victory for the Ring of Honor titles. I mean, and they're a little. So they got, but for having a little few more years in the game to still be on top of the game as they are, they do great in GCW when they've gone there, and the other stuff they've done some other little smaller promotions. But you're right, they have not had the multitude of matches, especially FTR or Bussy has, because FTR and Bussy were on. I mean, Bussy fucking wrestled like 3 or 4 matches every weekend for the longest time there.
Yeah, like, and here's the thing too, like the Briscoes on PWI's tag team was ranked third behind FTR, who was behind the Usos. Usos are cool. I
I
like the
would.
Usos.
I mean, I think FTR should be one, but I can't
I
argue
agree.
with the Usos being up there. You can't.
Like and like I'm looking at this list. Like Aussie Open's on there. Aussie Open's absolutely amazing.
That's well deserved. I mean, we got to see
Yeah,
them
like
live too.
Swerve in Our Glory was really high. I'm like, really? But yeah, so like their top five, Briscoe's 3, then Death Triangle 4, and then Fukuoka Double Crazy, which is Hazuka and Koguma. I don't know who that is. Not even gonna lie. RK Bro, the Good Brothers, Young Bucks, the Hex with Alice K and Marty Bell, local Marty Bell.
Hey,
Um, Violence is Forever and Kevin Koo and Dominic Guarini. Aussie Open, United Empire, Street Profits, Toxic Attraction, and Los Nuevos. That's a good team. Black Desire, Starlight Kid, and Mono Wata. Oh yeah, I love me some Starlight Kid. But anyway, there's a lot out there. Sasha Banks and Naomi could have got something, but they left the company.
Well, you only mentioned one female tag team, if I remember right. No, I think you had a Japanese one in there too.
Yeah, Starlight Kid and Mono
That's right, you had two.
Watanabe.
So that's all and neither of us brought up a female tag team, unfortunately. I think that speaks a little bit to, of the major promotions, WWE, you just hit the bank. You hit the nail on the head there, right? Because Sasha Banks and Naomi should be on our rolling off of our tongues, right? Toxic Attraction is not bad for what they were, but I wouldn't put them up there on like Tag Team of the Year list, right?
Yeah.
Damage Control, I really like Io and Dakota together. I think that they do better on a different stage than
small
where they are.
Size.
Tiny sample size with them. They've only been around for a third of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Impact Wrestling, they haven't had longevity for the year either, too, right? The Iconic started off the year on top of it, but then Jesse McKay, they both just kind of like bowed out from wrestling, right? And Peyton Royce is having a baby. Congratulations! She probably already had the baby too. I don't know, but
not yet.
She hasn't had it yet, but she's having a
February,
baby, and Jesse McKay is doing like other things, like acting things and stuff, And then you've had, you had the Decay, but then not Decay, and then this Rosemary Jessica Havoc or just Sick. It's a weird gimmick. And Taya Valkyrie, so they've been mixing the pot up on their tag teams a little bit too. So at AEW, no. So unfortunately, like a women's tag team, other than those two in Japan and then the Hex, there really hasn't been consistency, long-term consistency. Maybe Toxic Attraction. Maybe you could put them out there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, next week, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do our male performer of the year, our male wrestler of the year. And then I would also like to throw in a curveball. I'm doing this live. Just thought of it. Don't know why. I just thought of it.
God damn it.
What if we also name our LGBTQ plus wrestler of the year?
I got a whole week to prepare. So cool.
So we're gonna do the male performer, male wrestler of the year, and LGBTQ plus wrestler of the year.
We'll do it. It's on like Donkey Kong. Okay. All right. Damn you, throwing curveballs. But hey, you give me a week to prepare.
We should recognize them. There's been some damn good ones.
We absolutely should recognize them. Yeah. And like I said, I have a week to prepare. I'm not on the spot here. So, yeah, it's fine.
I mean, I could come up with like 5 on the spot. Like, this was
I could, but I think we'll have the same list. So it's like, we'll figure it out. So it'll be interesting. All right. So more end of the year awards given out. The Spotties. We're giving away the Spotties to people. Spot Fest. Spotties.
The Festies.
Make it stick, guys. Spotties.
Festies.
The
TFSs. TSFs. The TSFs. Total Spot Fest.
We may or may not be doing a poll on Twitter in the next coming few days.
The TFS. The TFSs.
I like the Spotties. So we'll
or TSFs. The
follow
TSFs.
us, if you're not following us on Twitter, do, because we need to settle this. Just like things were settled on Ring of Honor. So Ring of Honor had their last pay-per-view of the year. Honestly, I don't know if Ring of Honor put on a bad pay-per-view this year. They all were.
Didn't see a bad one.
Fucking good. Final Battle happened. You could have called this another thing. You could have called this, so you want a different champion? Because they decided belts dropping was a theme for the night. But tons of good stuff. Gates of Agony, Brian Cage, now officially a champion under Tony Khan. So him and the Gates of Agony and Brian Cage beat Dalton Castle and the boys for the 6-man tag, which is the 3-man tag titles in AEW, was the 6-man tag titles in Ring of Honor. Does that drive you crazy like it drives me insane?
Yes, 100%.
It bothers the living shit out of me. Choose a number. And the number should be 3. With the trios title. Well, anyway, I'll move on. Athena, who was more or less pigeonholed in WWE because, quote, they told her to be more sexy like Mandy Rose. Her words, not mine. She's your new Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Excellent match against Mercedes Martinez. Probably my second favorite match of the night. Honestly, it was so good. You had I'm not gonna go over the whole card, but I'm just going over the big bits. Samoa Joe's the one champion who did retain, so he retained his title against Juice Robinson, who looked fantastic, by the way, and he was on Dark this past week. Juice was so. And I still want to see him do something with him and Tony. You know, I know that the whole wrestling couple thing, but I think they do like this rock hard couple, you know, kind of just like Bullet Club in your face. I want to see a woman in Bullet Club. I'm not going to lie. All right. Claudio Castagnoli beat Jericho via submission. That submission was the big spin.
Which was very, how do you tap when you're swinging?
As you're going around, you just tap. He did.
That's weird.
They're going with an angle on it, and it was an odd way to end the match, an odd way to end the night, but it was good to see Claudio get it back. Wheeler Yuta regained the pure title from Daniel Garcia, knocked his ass out, you know, during the hammer and anvil hits. So Blackpool Combat Club, per John Moxley's prediction, had a big statement night. And then, speaking of statements, what should have been the main event, I don't care if you did it for the last pay-per-view. This was the end of the trilogy between Briscoes and FTR. Double dog collar match. Not as long as I would have thought because they didn't give it the main spot. But my God. I mean, there was blood within 2 minutes of the match. Everybody got bloody. And when I say everybody got bloody, I mean everybody, including the ref who took a chain fish shot and got bloody and ring Paul Turner. I mean, it was violent in the best way. The Briscoes ended up getting the victory, though. So they regained their titles as well. So titles changing all over the place. What are your thoughts about that?
I feel like it's the right move.
Okay.
Definitely for Chris Jericho. I feel like Claudio was brought in to be Ring of Honor, and with the news of Ring of Honor's TV deal imminent, you know, Tony. Like it could be tomorrow, it could be after the first of the year. Well, we don't know, but it's coming, and you're putting the belt on the right people. Like I feel like the Blackpool Combat Club, or whatever the hell they're going to call themselves now.
We're staying with that.
So like with Claudio and Wheeler both being champs, that makes a lot of sense. The Briscoes being champs makes a ton of sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Athena,
and of course, and Athena makes
recognizable. Once again, I know, but recognizable is good when you're starting.
Yeah, she's got a name, she's got a face, everybody knows. And you got Joe. Like they got a solid core to work with and build from there. And you got Brian Cage already on board. You got some other guys who are on board who will do something there too. Like there's gonna be a solid roster of young guys and some decent talent that could flip flop between both sides, and then they're gonna build up people on Ring of Honor like they do.
That's the hope, is that he said he wanted to make this a feeder, not a straight feeder, but have that developmental younger talent on Ring of Honor, and then bring them up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He did give one. So he's doing this tease again about the network deal, but he did make the announcement afterwards that coming back is the Honor Club, their streaming service. Okay. This is done by and then an official press release, of course, right? So the back catalog of more than 2,500 hours of Ring of Honor contact, dating all the way back to 2002, is going to be featured on this $9.99 a month Honor Club streaming service. Honor Club used to be a thing that they did, right? You know, so same thing. There's some question about the New Japan tie-in content that they had because of their long history, Ring of Honor with New Japan. There's definitely a question about that, if that's going to be involved or not, or when or how. But 2,500 backlog hours plus. He's hinting at that this might see. Tony's trying a lot of stuff. He did a Saturday afternoon pay-per-view to test the waters to see. For Ring of Honor, to test the waters to see if there's an appetite for it. Not a lot of buys, so probably not. He's testing the waters for this. He says that all pay-per-views will be available to Honor Club members 90 days after they originally aired, and open the door to potentially in the future having the pay-per-views on the Honor Club. So this feels like the first step, in getting that. You and I both know the most sense makes it a channel inside of HBO, just like Disney has their like Star Wars channel. Same thing for this, or Max, or whatever they're going to call it moving forward. But they did make the announcement about the Honor Club. I don't know if you caught that.
I did catch that. Yes.
So anyway, good stuff there for Ring of Honor. And for what it's worth, I thought some good stuff happened on Dynamite too. What about you?
Dynamite was awesome. Top to bottom.
Best in a while. And last week's was excellent.
Yeah. I mean, I could go on and on about how good it was. I will have to say, Mark Stradamus yet again strikes.
Where's he at? He sure does.
It's like I should be in fucking creative, guys.
I mean, as soon as they should. And they so why don't we go get into Dynamite? Let's talk about that. Let's open with that because they did it as well. But they also
So they open with the best of 7 match number 4, the Elite versus Death Triangle. Death Triangle wins using the damn hammer again. This match was amazing, top to bottom. The inverted frog splash from Rey Fenix was
after the inverted Spanish fly or the reverse Spanish fly.
Yeah, like it's a Russian leg sweep Spanish fly. The Russian fly is what I'm going to call it.
It was ridiculous. Ooh.
Yeah, so like this match had everything, obviously. But then they won in a nefarious way. So here comes Kenny. Kenny's just like, well, I'm sick of this. So how about we make the hammer legal next time? I mean, you know what? Why don't we make all weapons legal? How about next week it's us, no DQ, because we're down 3-1. So obviously, we already know how this is all going to end, ladies and gentlemen.
His stamp's over there. Everybody sees it. You got it. You get.
So this one is. I think I even called.
You
the
called
matches.
this like I'll go back and check the tape. I know that for 2 of these, but I think you called this verbatim moving forward.
Yeah, so no DQ for this one, and then falls count anywhere
for if it happens for match 6.
If it happens, and then it ends if necessary. Escalera de la Muerte. Who's called that?
For fucking word for word. Yes, Mark Stradamus strikes again. And as soon as they said that, talking about next week's gonna be I go, finally the promotions. Oh shit, Jamie's gonna be right again. I just know it. And then later on in the episode, they announced, by the way, match 6 and match 7. I go, son of a bitch.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't know if you caught this. They did the graphic with that information on it before they announced it on TV.
Yeah, because they're doing because they need to shy away from doing the Excalibur Mad Dash. It's interesting to see him say 8,000 words in 30 seconds, but
yeah, he's like the Micro Machines guy back in the day.
Ooh, solid reference.
Thank you.
I like this because there was a week between it. Like I said, Give a little bit of a
Yeah.
breather. That's fine. I'm fine with
And
seeing this over and over again, but the same thing every fucking week. And now it's going to be a different variant because you got False Count Anywhere, ladder. That's the point. So just had to get here.
Yes.
I'm back on board with it. I never was off board.
MJF had an excellent promo about the match with Ricky Starks, which in turn Ricky had an excellent promo to counteract that. Both of them, like,
blow it up.
this was the feud I did not know I needed in my life until last week, and now that it's started to it happened, like I don't want it to end, but then they make it obviously end, which kind of sucks.
But it's long. We talked about that. We'll talk about it during the match too. Long haul.
Yeah. So the Acclaim come out. They get ambushed by Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Sanjay Dutt.
Sure.
And then scissor this slap nut. Whatever.
Stop with Jeff Jarrett on my TV. Please stop with Jeff Jarrett on my TV.
For all of us. And then I saw some serious foreshadowing here because I remember back in the day a certain 123 kid being called a jobber in an interview with the guy that he beat. And Chris Jericho says he vows to win tonight, make it clear, that he wants a rematch for the Ring of Honor Championship. He's got to beat this jobber, whatever. And he said it, I'm like, huh. Interesting. Like, did you pick up on it too? I'm like, he legit called the guy a jobber. I'm like, he's gonna lose. Like, I've had this instant
I didn't quite pick up that. I caught the jobber dig, but I didn't catch the in depth on it, until later.
Yeah.
So,
well, luckily for you, I have a pornographic memory. Hey,
for $40 a month, you can. No, I'm kidding.
You could dive right into my brain. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then since Garcia lost, he has to get shadowed by the elder Sammy Guevara.
Which they're still doing the Garcia long haul gonna leave bit, or come on.
I guess. Whatever.
They're not doing the Blackpool Combat Club feud anymore. So whatever. Move on to something different. I don't care. That's fine. Whatever.
But Sammy does challenge Moxley on Rampage.
One last time, get your face beat in. Sure.
Yeah. Jungle Boy Jack Perry, or I like to call it JBJP, going as Brian Cage.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
Well, JBJP
I shouldn't have said anything.
ends up getting the win via the roll up.
Hey, Brian Cage on my TV on a Wednesday night.
It was great to see.
It was there was no bad matches tonight.
No, this match was great. It's not realistic, but it was great. And then after the match, Jack Perry, Jack Perry. There you go.
You're gonna do it anyway. Just do it. It's fine. I've opened.
Yeah.
I've opened.
He calls out.
I'll live here.
So he called out Big Bill.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, because he's not William W. Morrissey now. He's Big Bill. It's fucking terrible. Big Bill. And then Stokely goes, he's like, two things are gonna happen. You're gonna get Big Bill's boot and the back of my hand because you're acting like a hoe. It's like, oh my god. And then out comes Lee Moriarty, and Big Bill beat the shit out of him. And then out of nowhere, here comes Hook. So Hook and Jungle Boy are going to be teammates, like Team Small. Is that what we're going for?
Well, I think they're going to do. This is the medium-sized Pretty Man Society. This is your. And I'm not going down that path. I like it. I think it's good because you're very similar to what we talked about with Ricky Starks and the push there with MJF, this long-term feed. These are two guys here that are very popular, good-looking young men that are going to be a staple of your future. Maybe not a pillar.
Yeah,
but a staple of your future.
Yeah, Megan thinks Hook is very attractive.
Megan is not alone. There's a lot of people who really like to look at Hook.
Yeah, they're thirsty for the hook, and some are thirsty for JB Jack Perry. I'm gonna make it fucking stick. I'm making it a stick.
It's already it's printed in my brain already. So thank you.
You are welcome.
Yeah, whatever.
Moxley promo, yeah, whatever, and then a Swerve Strickland promo, like he's turning heel. Great, like we didn't see this coming.
Woo.
But my most favorite moment of the entire night, and don't get me wrong, that main event was something to behold. But this is my favorite moment, and that's the House of Black.
Oh, fucking House of Black.
Julia coming out, like they did the whole thing, got right in Nick Camarada's face. Black misted him. I'm like, oh my god, like this is amazing.
The Julia we wanted from day one is finally here.
Yes, like this is what we want. Fucking Malachi's just sitting in the corner, just chilling in the corner while Buddy and Brody are just beat the shit out of the factory, just beating the dog piss out of him.
Aaron Solo is still intertwined in a guardrail fence right now.
Yeah, like I'm like,
Brody
how'd they
murdered
get him in there? Yeah.
Oh.
So QT is the only one left. He gets in the ring, and Brody and Buddy are on the outside, kind of keeping him there. And he's like, all right, let's go. And then as he's doing that, Malachi just nonchalantly just gets up, just like that, just black bassed him. Boom, 1, 2, 3. But man, the thing about it for me was the absolute statement it has made that they wanted made, what I wanted made originally when the House of Black hit.
Yes.
Like, I wanted them to come in and absolutely wreck shit and own shit and just be a dominant force. The first time around, they kind of were, but they weren't. This time, legitimate. They are saying, fuck around and find out. Like, that's where they are right now.
This was the squash match of the night. This match lasted all of a minute, technically, from bell to bell.
But it
didn't feel like it. You're exactly right. It was done in a way that was captivating and good storytelling for the House of Black. And the Factory and QT, who we give a lot of shit to, they played their parts exactly right to do that. So, can't wait to see House of Black versus the Elite versus Death Triangle. Oh, Death Triangle.
Oh, them and Death Triangle. Like, we've already kind of seen it, but
seen
like
it,
now
but,
at this
but,
level?
Yeah, seen them both in their iterations as they are now. Yes.
I'm right there with you.
Go for it. I'm just checking where we are.
So right after that, like, I know I'm going sequentially, and typically I don't go sequentially, but I felt like this one deserves sequentially because it does end with the coup de grace of that match. The video package for next week's Dynamite women's title match. I am really looking forward to Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida.
Agreed.
Lot. Like, both of them have very similar styles. Very much strong style. Like, this is going to be a physical match. I would not be surprised if we see blood.
I would like that. I can't remember saying that, but I would like that. I would like to see this match get time. I want to see
want to see it main event.
I would love a main event. I think it could when you look at what's on the card for next week. If it doesn't, I want to see it get almost 20 minutes.
Or be the opener.
Opener, I'd be fine.
Open with it.
I'd be fine with opening.
Open or close, because you know how AEW does it. Open banger, close banger.
Right.
And the rest is kind of, it could be good, possibly bad. We don't know, but we just care about the ends.
Well, you want to have a wave. You can't have you can't do you want to have a wave. So you want to open high, and then end high.
This week was the whole way though.
It was all up there, but
It's like just run up that hill. Yeah, so there's that. After that, you had Chris Jericho versus local jobber number 26. Oh wait, he actually has a name, and Action Andretti.
Didn't have it ready for the graphic though, because they put the graphic of Chris
Sure
Jericho
shit didn't.
on top of him. Which did you see Denise Salcido's post about that?
No.
So after the show was over, or during the show, whatever, she took a screen grab of that, put it out there, and it says, "Chris Jericho's done himself again, reinventing himself like no one else could."
That is perfect.
Go follow our friend Denise, by the way. She is well worth it.
She's a good follow. She's from Fightful. But yeah, so this match, like from the jump, like I noticed like Andretti just getting a lot of offense in. I'm like, that is very uncharacteristic of like I'm
Yeah.
so used to watching dark elevation matches and dark matches. So it's like
You could tell something was up from the start, and Jericho's perplexed by it. And first of all, before you get into the rest of this here, I just want to take a sidebar for a second and acknowledge the spectacularness of last night's crowd. That was a top-notch crowd. Yeah. They were 2 thumbs up the whole night long. So anyway,
it is a pay-per-view quality. Definitely pay-per-view quality fans.
Absolutely, they were Dallas. You done right last night. Absolutely. Sorry, go back to the match.
Hats off to you. But yeah, like they were scorching hot for this match. And this match had all sorts of stuff, man. Like Jericho tried to go for a lion tamer. Yes, lion tamer. And he was able to get out of it. He went for a juice effect, missed it. Like everything. Like when he went for the wall, like when he went for the lion tamer, he dropped Jericho on his head, then hit a shooting star press for an upset win, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner, Action Andretti, who is now officially all elite, and that kid was freaking impressive.
He's another flippy spinny guy, so I was impressed.
Oh, I knew. Yeah.
I mean, but from the "Let's Go Jobber" chance, like 1, 2, 3 kid. There's no other comparison. This is this generation's 1, 2, 3 kid. Because let's see if he can put it together too. Because I mean, where were you? Okay. What do you remember about that match? We're gonna come back to finish up Dynamite in a second. Let's talk about the 1, 2, 3 kid match.
1, 2, 3 kid match. His first win, he won via roll up.
Right. Did you watch it? And you watched it live when it happened?
Oh, 100%.
Yep. What was going through your head as it happened? We were what? 11? 10, 11?
12-ish?
91?
It was 92, 91, 92,
yeah.
somewhere in there. I'm like, I remember watching, like, I was speechless. I'm like, wait, what? Like, he's not supposed to win?
I mean, I had never seen that before. When you get local talent, even as that age, you're like, oh, yeah, no, he's not going to win. And I was dumbfounded for like 2 days. I'm not kidding. Like, my dad told me to shut up because I wouldn't stop talking about that at dinner. I was like, I can't believe it was Razor Ramon. There's no way Razor Ramon. Like, I could not believe it. And of course now we know.
Did you know it was Razor Ramon's idea? Like the whole thing was like, I want to put him
Sean
over.
Waltman's his buddy, so he wanted to put him over.
Because he was at the Brooklyn Brawler level, just jobbing all the damn time.
Yeah.
So yeah, fun times.
So we have our own 1, 2, 3 kid. Action Andretti, people, get your T-shirt. It better be race car themed. It better be race car themed.
FTR talks about their loss. They're coming after the Ass Boys. Sorry, the Guns, because you're not going to get called by their gimmicks. But they're coming after them, so get ready for that one. After that, you had Tay Melo going against Ruby Soho.
Hey, Ruby.
There you go. Want to make sure I got you set up there. And oh my God, this match was excellente too, man. Like it was just fire.
Yeah. I want to give it up to Tay Melo for this match, believe it or not.
Yeah, she looked great. She looked phenomenal.
She's from the botch fest that she did 101 days ago on Ruby to now, definitely maybe being married to Sammy has taught her a little bit about putting on a good match because she looked great. I don't know. Yeah, sorry. You hate Sammy, but Sammy can wrestle. All right.
Sammy can wrestle. I do hate. I hate me some Sammy.
This is the best I've seen Tay Melo in a ring since New Year's last year.
Yeah.
And Ruby looked great. 100%. Great to see Ruby on my TV. And Ruby got the victory. That made me happy too.
Yeah.
They're sticking around with this feud, though, a little bit longer, which doesn't make me happy, but whatever.
Yeah, then after the match, here came Anna Jay to interfere and start beating up old Ruby.
Which is fine. Okay. As long as there is a direction for Ruby, I'm fine with sticking around with this for a little bit longer. Let's get till after the new year, but God damn it, Tony. Give me a direction, please. I don't ask for much. Well, I do, but
you do ask for a lot. That's fine. Alex Marvez got to talk to Hangman. He gave a very emotional medical update. I felt like that was very real, honestly. When he had his first concussion, talking about what's the name of his son? He couldn't remember it. I've had concussions in my day from playing football, and yeah, I get it, and it felt very real. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens there.
We never talked about Dark Order being down a man now too.
Oh yeah, 10 left.
10's part of I guess it's Rush's staple now. Whatever. But
yeah, because Andrade's gone.
He's injured, but he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. You ready for the main event?
We beat around the bush long enough. Let's do it.
Match of the night. 100% match of the night. The crowd made this match too. Again, to your point, that crowd was so lava hot for this damn thing. This match had everything you want. It had an amazing Salt of the Earth that turned into a Rings of Saturn with grabbing a leg and still finding a way to kick out or to get to the
how many limbs can you hold?
Yeah, you had a killer power bomb, sit down power bomb from Ricky Starks. You had so many great moments. A spear, not as a finisher, but as a signature move. They did get a win. You had so much. By the end, those guys were exhausted because of the pace. Did you notice how frantic the pace was pretty much from the jump on this match?
Yeah, they slowed it down during the commercial break. And other than that, though, so they themed it very well to go with the TV time that they were going with, because that was the only real slow part. They started off kind of, a lot of crowd jarring back and forth. Then they got to it and slowed it down for the commercial. And then when they came back, it was bang, 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 just all action to the end.
Yeah, and the guys were exhausted at the end because there was that moment where Ricky did the flip over MJF and they were supposed to do the bridge out. He actually botched the bridge because he was exhausted.
Yeah, he couldn't.
And then they did it again, and he was able to do it. Yeah,
just barely, barely got it that second time.
Barely got it. And he's going for a power bomb, couldn't get the power bomb too. It was MJF was huffing and puffing. That was the thing. It was 100% MJF. He was a huffing and a puffing, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But the flurry at the end, MJF was able to get behind the ref after he got out of the Rochambeau, hid behind the ref, pushed the ref out of the way, kicked Ricky Starks square in the nuts, was able to get the roll up 1, 2, 3. Your winner of not only the AEW championship, but also the 4-time consecutive Diamond Ring champion, MJF.
The only ever Dynamite Diamond Ring champion.
Ever.
But
it doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. It does not stop there. Because you know what? We actually have a way to go here. Right after MJF's leaving, cue Bryan Danielson, and he chases him out of the damn building.
Which was fantastic. So you called this as well, that's going to be the next. Oh, we both did. You know, it was pretty obvious. You know, but you called it. You know, that's going to be the next bet. We were talking about Ricky last week and the interweaving and long-term storytelling. I feel like this match solidifies that. This is definitely because he didn't win clean. We knew he wouldn't. He didn't win clean. Yeah. Ricky looked great. He got over. MJF got over. It is the same as always, right? So there's legs to this. Is it a foregone conclusion that this is, you know, we think it should be, but this is a foregone conclusion. This is the long-term play.
I think so. I think, man, like they got so many people hopefully coming back here for too long though. Like Ricky could easily get lost in the shuffle, and I don't want that to happen. I'm fearful of that. I'm fearful of when Hangman is healthy and he gets done with his program with Mox, he's gonna go after MJF,
right?
Or Adam Cole gets healthy and he comes in, he's gonna come after it. Yeah, Omega. You know, like
they got Omega tied up with the trios, which is good for the time being.
For now,
you know,
but like you have Revolution here and not that long. You know, February, March 5th in San Francisco. So we're not going.
No.
I'm not.
I am not. Like you talk about using your hotel points, your miles for hotel. Not San Francisco or not, because we'll get like a broom closet for half a night. No, I'm teasing.
Yes, just eat some sourdough. Maybe get some real Chinese food though in Chinatown. Like
we'd get bomb Chinese food for sure.
Yes, like I would do that. But no, I'm out. But anyway, like I want to say Ricky has solidified himself, and I still believe that. It's just I'm afraid now because they did this, he's gonna get lost in the shuffle again.
They're gonna do like the Hangman Rise, and once he gets there, what do you do? And then they're like many before. I tend, and maybe it's just the optimist in me, you know. I tend to think that they've learned from their past, you know, booking shortcomings. There's more people involved in these decision makings backstage that have been around the business longer than Tony has, right? And I'm talking about you, JR, because once again, JR not on TV, but he's got to be running Gorilla, right? I think he's got to be. But regardless, the right play is to do that, even if you bring in, because you're right. You don't keep Hangman. You've already put him up to that level. And if Kenny Omega is not a current tag team or trios champion, or even if he is, he's still Kenny goddamn Omega, right? That doesn't mean you can't have Ricky in that picture too, right? So I'm hopeful they will keep this intertwined, because here's the thing that you can think about too. MJF drops the belt at All Out to Kenny. Okay, we'll just pick a name from a hat, right? Kenny Omega, right?
Mm-hmm.
He can now feud with Ricky outside of that title picture, right? Not for the belt, and then they can come back. I hope they do. We'll see if they learn from their past shortcomings, long-term booking. We'll see.
I think what they should do with him right now, because clearly Danielson's the next.
Yeah, Danielson's Revolution for sure, 100%.
Slide him down to the TNT title. Get him a belt.
Okay.
Make him relevant that way. But then use him.
I mean, you don't need Samoa Joe to keep both those belts.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I like the King of Television shtick, right? You know, an evil Samoa Joe. I dig all that.
I do too.
But he doesn't need both belts. He doesn't need any belt. If you're using him, well, if to your point, if you're using him like you said, put him on the poster because he's a face, right?
Yeah.
For Ring of Honor, you can give the belt to Ricky Starks, because now you got MJF, Ricky Starks, Jamie Hayter, all the Acclaimed, all his champions. Imagine that statement 16 months ago.
Yeah, homegrown talent.
A lot of it. I dig it. I dig that. Okay. You guys let us know what you think. What would you, Fantasy Booking Island time, what would you guys do with Ricky Starks right now? Not long term, right now.
Yeah, how you booking him? Tell us on Twitter at TotalSpotFest, or if you are watching us on YouTube, just don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. And then put a comment down below. Helps.
You have any other thoughts about Dynamite from last night, Jamie?
No, I'm mentally spent because it was a show.
That was a hell of a show. And then next week is
Well
Holiday
done.
Bash. And then
Yeah,
do they have 2 more shows for the end of the year? I think they do. Yeah. And then they'll have their New Year's Eve show, which is supposed to be in Jacksonville, but I don't know if it is on the 29th. We'll see.
I don't know. Yeah.
Or 28th, excuse me. 29th will be at Agnes for the Final Journey Pro Show. Friendly reminder, tickets still available. Go to journeyprokc.com. And that's what we got. So catch us next week. We'll go over Holiday Bash. We'll see who else gets, railroaded out of WWE for some stupid ass reason. I'm sure there'll be another one. That's so dumb. So dumb.
Agreed.
But we will be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Like, subscribe, share, all the things. Thank you for giving us some of your time. We truly do appreciate it. Jamie, take us home, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down to Spot Fest, I got 4 words, which 2 of them are hyphenated. Missouri 67, Kansas 95.
Since you and I are just talking, Jamie, you know I edit these, and I'm just going to cut that fucking thing out of this, all right? So, bye-bye.
Peace.